There. What's that? Hello and good evening to the Real Estate Plate Radio Show. As always, I'm your host, Nick Sakalis, coming to you live from the WGBB studios here in lovely Merrick, New York. And I'm not feeling that much of a lovely mood right now. I'm not my normal self. I don't know if you're going to get my typical reactions today. We do have major news as far as Long Island and New York City is concerned, as far as the real estate world is concerned. And I'm going to try to be as much as my usual self when I'm talking about this. I'm going to talk about that a little later on in the show. And we're going to dive into a couple more things as well. But I'm a little down today. And one of the reasons why I'm a little down today is because, right before I headed over to the studio, I had to come from a wake. And, it's not typical wake. You never want to go to a wake where, somebody passed away, and, it's never a good thing to do. But this one really hit home a little bit more than normally did. An old friend of mine passed away, unfortunately, well before his time. Somebody I went through high school with. Really, really good guy. People in Long Island, New York, they'll probably heard of this story. It's been everywhere. It was about the police officer that got run down on LIE by that woman that was drunk or on drugs or whatever she was on, and pretty much ran him over until he became pulp. It was pretty tragic. There was an open casket today, and that image is going to stay with me forever. His wife, his children have taken a major loss. His family are definitely never going to be the same. You can never be the same after having a travesty like that. So Dasso, every time we run into each other, we'd say to each other, we got to grab a cup of coffee, get together, catch up. Looks like we're not going to be catching up anytime soon. But maybe we'll have that coffee at another place at another time that maybe would be a lot better than the place we're in right now. My heart goes out to the family. My deepest sympathy, condolences go out there. There's not much I could say more than that. It really was a travesty. It was a horrible scenario. I'm not going to get into the whole incident itself, but honestly, I hope the person that did this really, this whole situation, this whole incident stays with her. It stays something long lasting, and I hope they throw the book at her. I really do. I'm done. I'm not going to say much more about that than what I already did. That being said, I know that I'm being pretty somber right now, but like I said, it is what it is right now, and I'm basically going to try to get through this show in the best possible way I can. Maybe I forget myself in my talks and try to think of things in a different way. So, if you're listening right now and you want to call into the studio, you can call in to 516-623-1240. If you're watching live on YouTube, you can go through the chat. I'm going to put in a couple links again in the chat. You know, amongst all my things, I got another thing that screwed up with this stream right now, where for some reason or another, sometimes technology doesn't like me. So I had a nice predetermined stream. I had the thumbnail ready. I had everything set up. And for some weird reason or another, it wouldn't allow me to connect to it. So I had to do a whole new stream. So anybody that logged in through that other stream is definitely not going to be seeing anything. Hopefully they realize that a new video came up, the one that we have here, and be able to catch the show. Otherwise, you'll catch me on the replay. As every week, the way I always have been saying for the past few weeks right now, I am deep into a cause to fundraise some money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. As mentioned before, I am part of a team that has pledged to do what we can to raise the highest possible amount for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And we're going to be doing this all the way to June 10th. So in this live chat right now, I have put in the link to the page where you can donate. Of course, as always, it's tax deductible. But more than anything, you'll be doing something really good for a lot of kids that are suffering right now from this horrible cancer, and helping do more research and possibly finding some cures to the, this thing that's plaguing the whole world right now. So now that I've gotten a couple of things that were on my mind, and the most important things that are on my mind, because honestly, you come to terms with what's important and what's not important to in your life. We're talking about losses in life and things that affect us in different ways. And sometimes some of the stuff we talk on the show could seem to be trivial. But let's get into the trivial stuff. Let's get into the real estate. So, what's going on this week? What's going on in the real estate world? Well, I'll tell you what's going on right now. There's something that's going to be a seismic change here in Long Island and Queens, in Brooklyn, in the city. Something major is happening right now. And some people have realized it. Some people have not realized it yet. But that's why I, make these announcements and I talk about these things on the show. At this point last week, I was not at liberty to be able to discuss what was going on. Confidentiality. Because it does involve me somehow. but I'll get into that in a little bit. Before I get into that, I just wanted to acknowledge Matthew Lyman. He has, as everybody knows, been a heavy advocate for landlord rights, for um, housing reform, and trying to help all housing providers, not only in New York, but he's really been a national resource. Obviously, he's New York based, and a lot of the stuff that we're talking about and he does on his videos are very New York centric. But believe me when I say this, a lot of the things that are happening in New York have a way to be able to branch out to other states as well. So, Matthew, I thank you for all your efforts that you're taking. And on his last video, and I strongly recommend anybody that's listening to go check out the Landlord Advocates after the stream, though. Don't turn off my show just to go over there. Finish the show first and then go over there. And see the last video that he put it together with the letter he drafted. And I recommend you listen to the entire letter he wrote out to the government, to our state, and follow suit. And this letter he drafted was in respect, in regard to a possible another extension of the eviction moratorium. But I'm not going to take away anything that he's put into that video. That's a video that people really need to listen to and really need to pay attention. And then what's more, I plead with you, if you are a landlord, if you're a housing provider or property owner, if you are a person that just believes in doing the right thing, go watch that video and follow suit on that letter he wrote. Because I assure you I will. And many others will as well. And the more people that reach out, the more voices that are heard, the better the chances we're going to have to be able to get some kind of resolution. I don't know what that resolution is going to be, but there has to be an end game to this. This whole demented cycle of playing games with landlords' livelihoods, with housing providers' financial stability, psychological stability, has to end. I've said this before, and I'm going to say this again. Landlords are human beings too. They're not a faceless machine. They're not a faceless corporation with no heart and no soul and no substance behind it. These are human beings that you're dealing with. And they need to be treated that way. And to take away all of their rights in a very blatant way and a very biased way as well is, as we said, unconstitutional and at the same time morally wrong, because it's the only sect, it's the only group within our financial sector, it's the only group of individuals that are being treated this way. So, once more, I'm pleading that everybody follow suit. I'm pleading that there's a level of compassion and morality within our elected officials, within our government officials, that will actually say to themselves that we've been doing the wrong thing all this time and we got to make it right. Because once more, I say this is a very demented thing that is being done to this entire group of individuals. It's just not right. It really isn't. That being said, I don't know if anybody caught the live stream that we did last Thursday with Maria Recruit. That was really a great stream. We went through a lot of stuff. We had another um, landlord from Canada that was speaking, and our own Matthew Lyman was also on the stream with us as well. And we had another basically contrast of Canada versus U.S. as far as housing regulations and terms are in place. And it was really a great conversation that we had. Uh, we could have easily spoken about it for 2 3 hours more and still not covered everything. I know that we're going to definitely have that same group at some point in the future together again, possibly as a continuation or diving into whatever's current at that point. But definitely a great watch. I'm going to be attaching Maria's information to this stream once it's processed, along with Matthew's links as well. Support the community, support the people that have been advocating for you, support the true real estate individuals that are giving you information of substance through this YouTube world, through the social media world, because you got a lot of people that are putting out information out there that really is of no use to many. And it's in many ways very personally driven. You could tell, you have all these fake gurus that are running around and telling you how to go and make money quick and get rich quick and that kind of stuff. And all they want to do is sell you their seminars or sell you those 5 secrets. And I'll tell you something, there's no secrets in the real estate world. Zero. Zero. All the information out there of how to be able to succeed in real estate exists. It's in the text. It's already out there. It's just taking and using that information that's out there and compiling it and making it work in the best possible way for you. It's out there. I consult with people on a daily basis. You never see me promote my consultation services. When I sit there and I assess properties for people, I sit down and I basically get down to the nuts and bolts and look at the income and expense and the potential and everything that's associated with it. But you never see me promote my services on here. Why? Because the thought is to enlighten and help the public without making it turn into an infomercial. So, you know what? I think I've mentioned this in the past. I'm going to say this again. I get paid very well to do consultation for property owners for apartment buildings and commercial and income properties to be able to point out um, certain ways to be able to cut your expenses or certain ways to be able to improve your income and basically take your balance sheet and your income and expense sheet and be able to find all the little things that could be tweaked in order to optimize your property. I do this all the time. So what I'm going to offer out there, I talked about the Leukemia Lymphoma Society before. I'm going to offer this out to anybody that's listening. If you click on the link and you put a donation for $100 and over, doesn't matter what it is, 100 and over, I will sit down and I'll do a full consultation for you as far as my thank you to you with no strings attached. I'm not looking to sell your building. I'm not looking to get you to do anything of that nature. I will sit down and give you a full consultation, and I'll make sure that you know where you're losing money from and know where you're gaining money from. And that's the one thing I could offer the community, property owners, in exchange and as a thank you for supporting the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And I'm going to keep this offer out there up until the last day of fundraising that we do from now until June 10th. So anybody that wants to take me up on it, just make sure that when you give in your donation, that you also contact me, and my that way I'm aware that you want me to do this for you. And my email is realestateplateradio@gmail.com. And again, I'm going to say it again, real estate plate radio@gmail.com. Spelled out the same way it sounds. And I'll put that in the information down below as well. So thank you, Maria, for hosting the past couple of weeks. As far as the stream is concerned, I think it's something that people are really gravitating to. I think it's something that is a different take, and it's also a thing that is eye-opening for many of us, including myself, because a lot of times we all think that the grass is greener on the other side. We always say, oh, the other countries have it better, the other countries have it worse, the other countries have it different. Well, we're just saying that a lot of the preconceived notions that we have and beliefs that we have might not be matching up with what the reality is. So I like the fact that we're seeing and comparing to what our friends from the north are doing. Because up in the north, it's a lot different than what it is over here. Here, I'm going to put this in air quotes. We are supposedly a capitalistic system. Supposedly. That's where we're still labeling ourselves as. Up in the north, our friends in Canada, it's more of a socialistic system. But you see a lot of things that are matching up and being very the same. So it's going to be interesting over the next few weeks of continuing to do the streams together to be able to understand how different things really are, or how the same things really are. You should definitely tune in. Maria's got a great channel that should be putting out a lot of content on her own as well. And you know what? I might just take a couple of the recordings, throw them on this channel just so you could see what you've been missing on her channel. And that could work out well as well. Now, before we get into anything else, I'm going to do the typical social media YouTube thing and say, take a moment, smash that like the like, click the like, whatever you want to do, just put a like there. Throw a comment below. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Oh, and by the way, I guess I have annoyed quite a few people as far as subscriptions are concerned, because when I went off the other night on landlord rights, I saw I lost a bunch of subscribers at that point, and that's okay. That's okay. If you don't like what I like, or what I have to say, we have the right to agree to disagree. Absolutely every right to agree to disagree. You don't have to agree with everything that I have to say. But I like the fact that I have a strong core of viewers and listeners that have been really receptive to everything that we had to offer. Thank you. Thank you all for listening and being strong support. And for the people that have dropped off, hey, maybe you'll come back around. Maybe, like I mentioned before, when you see the grass isn't greener on the other side, maybe you'll come back and join the a real estate plate community, and you'll be back with welcome hands, open arms. Now, I think I delayed and I dragged it out as much as possible before making people really get upset and giving more and more teasers. Let's get into what the big news is. What is the big news this week in real estate in Long Island, New York City? What is the big news? Well, it's been slowly eked out. It hasn't gone really viral yet, but you're hearing this for the first time on the YouTube waves. There's a big merger in effect right now. Coldwell Banker Realty, which I'm currently part of, is merging and creating a juggernaut in our region with Century 21 American Homes. And you will, going forward, have one major real estate outfit moving along in the future with the name Coldwell Banker American Homes. That's big. When I say big, we're talking about something that is going to shake up every single office out there, every competitor out there, every mom and pop out there, every big outfit out there. In what way? Well, I'm going to tell you what way. Now, again, I am affiliated with Coldwell Banker Realty, and I will be affiliated with Coldwell Banker American Homes going in the future. But as everybody knows, I don't mince words. If there's things about my company I don't like, either I'm not going to say a damn thing about it, or I'm going to let them have it. And if there's good things to say, I'm going to take an even keel, neutral approach. So I'm going to talk about this as if I am not affiliated with the company, which I am. I can't avoid that part of the equation. It just so happens, that I'm, the director of the commercial department with them. So it's affecting me on a personal level, being part of this merger, but it's going to affect everybody else. Now, what's happening with this merger is you're getting a collective of offices now stretching from the north and south of Long Island, from the east going all the way to the west, going into Queens, going to Brooklyn, and beyond. We're talking about a major amount of offices that are going to be affiliated with this firm. That's a lot of coverage. To add that on top of the fact that Coldwell Banker is a national brand, all of a sudden what you're going to be seeing is blue and white signs everywhere you look. Now, that's going to affect the agents that are currently with the companies that are merging in a big way, because that's going to increase their visibility and the company's market share, which is going to make it a lot easier for them to be able to show the strength and the reach of the company, especially in towns where one or the other didn't have any reach in the past. You're also going to have a scenario that it's going to force a lot of the competitors to get a lot more competitive and step up their A game. In offices where you didn't previously, in towns where you previously didn't have a Coldwell Banker, well, guess what? You do now. In areas where there was only Century 21 and Coldwell Banker didn't have much of a market share in there, all of a sudden, it's going to be blue and white all over the place. So this is going to be a really interesting scenario that's going to go down. Overnight, basically, the market share of the area as far as dominant offices that are affiliated has dramatically jumped up. This chat just came in from JC Empley. Are they doing anything to help small property owners? Well, let me finish this thought on the merger first. I don't want to ignore your comment, but I'll get to it as soon as I finish saying this, and I'll address it in the best possible way I can. But I'm going to reach out to all the new affiliates that are now part of the Coldwell Banker world. All the Century 21 American Homes people that are now going to be Coldwell Banker American Homes people. And I'm going to give them the same challenge, and I'm going to give them the same plea that I've been making with our own people and the rest of the offices out there. And that being said, help advocate for landlord rights, for small property owners, for people that are investors in and being dramatically affected by not only these COVID lockdown laws that we've had in place for the past year, but also this insane eviction moratorium that has been put in place. I'm going to reach out to them. I'm going to give them the same kind of, you know, plea that I've been giving everybody else. Maybe being affiliated right now, maybe they'll take more attention to it. But I'm seeing more and more agents and brokers starting to get more involved, being wary of this. They're starting to pay more attention. They're being more mindful and understanding of what is affecting their actual clients. And I'm going to say this again, people. Ignoring the problem is not going to make it go away. Being quiet about it and not advocating it and trying to help your clients is not going to do anybody any justice. And I'll tell you something, at the end of the day, it could cause a lot of animosity as well. You want to go and list a property for somebody that's getting ready to sell, that's having financial issues and being dramatically affected by these moratoriums and laws that are in place, and you're not going to be wary and you're not going to be mindful of what their current situation, and all you want to do is sell their property, guess what? They're going to see right through that. They're going to see right through that. And when they see right through that, they're not going to hire you. Either that, or they're going to hire you and you're going to go through hell of trying to sell that property with them because you don't understand them. The biggest key and the best way to be able to help a client is to understand their situation and to understand what they're going through and what their needs are. Very simple. Just like any other scenario, you need to know what your client's mindset and needs are in order to be able to help them in the best possible way and fulfill those needs, or fulfill them in the best possible way out there. Otherwise, you're dealing with a combustible situation that could be very problematic. Simple as that. So now I'm going to get back to the comments and try to give everybody as much time as possible. And at the same time, if you want to add a comment, or like I said, send me an email, please do so. Another thing I'm going to note, any super chats that come in through the live chat, I'm going to be taking whatever net proceeds are left over from there after YouTube takes their cut, and et cetera, and I'm just going to donate that directly into the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So anybody that decides to do that, I thank you in advance, and obviously I'll acknowledge you as you put them in there. So Jay, simply, I'm going to go back to you. Are they doing anything to help small property owners? Are we saying, are we going to be, are they helping us in a practical way, in a realistic way, or are they helping us with just words that mean nothing? Because up until this point, I really feel that they're helping small property owners by giving them lip service, and they're not necessarily helping in any way. There are so many funds that have been allocated, and there's so many uh, there's so many different methods of how a tenant can actually receive some money from the government, but it's going to them and it's not being sent directly to the landlords. As far as of as much as I know as of yet, if anybody out there has any other information or has had any better luck than I have, please let me know. Please, because I'm sure not only do I want to know, everybody else wants to know as well. Because from what I gather from my own personal circumstances and everything else anybody's saying is that there are funds that are being funneled through to tenants. However, they are not being sent to the landlords in most cases. So it's a problem. It's a false help. It's not realistic. And until this changes, unless they make it evident that you can get direct help to the landlords, we're not going to see anything. Here, even the ways of how to be able to obtain these funds are a little convoluted. The landlord can't do it themselves. They have to depend on the tenants in order to fill out the paperwork and fill out the applications in order to be eligible to be able to get any type of money towards COVID relief for their rent relief. However, a lot of tenants are not taking that opportunity. And a lot of them, to be quite honest with you and be very truthful, are not eligible for it because they've been playing the system right now. So by doing that and playing the system, they're like, we're not going to show our hand. We have a free ride right now. We show our hand, we're going to have a problem down the line. So they're not doing anything. So what's happening? None of the funds that have been set aside are going to the landlords. A lot of them are not being utilized whatsoever right now. They're sitting in the barracks. It's pretty ridiculous. JD Antigua cannot in the future, even if they continue to not pay. I'm not quite sure what you mean, JD. Cannot in the future, even if they continue not to pay. If you could emphasize, help me understand that question a little bit better, I would appreciate it. Um, are there any major lawsuits? Yes, there are, JC Simply. Texas has won a case of it being unconstitutional. Ohio has done the same. We here in New York are in limbo. But I feel that state by state, they will be winning more and more cases. There will be a class action lawsuit at some time, somewhere down the line, and I will be sharing that info with as many people as possible as I get more and more updates on this. And I could promise you, I'm going to join these class actions. And when they do come together, we'll see what we get. Are we going to get much out of it? Probably not, because a lot of it's going to get absorbed by legal fees or whatever the case is. But you know what? Whatever we can get back, we're going to get back. That's the way I look at it. And it's also tough to win a lawsuit against the people that are actually making the laws. But let's see. Maybe we'll have some moral people, some people that believe in justice and believe in the law that are still affiliated with, this bureaucracy we're dealing with. NYS is about to extend the EM. They claim that the risks from COVID are still high. That's actually what I was addressing earlier in the show, Jay Simply, and that's in regards to the letter that Matthew Lyman has drafted. And again, I'm going to make it very clear to everybody to follow suit. If you like, I could make another video where I'm actually reading the whole letter to everybody, so you can follow suit as well. If that's something that you're interested in, please let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely do that. I just don't know how much retention people will have of just listening to me read a letter. So if that's something you really want, I will definitely do it. You could also go to Matthew Lyman's site, the Landlord Advocates, and you could see his latest video, which actually highlights all the things that are being demanded as far as stopping a possible extension of the eviction moratorium, because this is ridiculous. Like I said before, where is the end game? Where is the end game? What do you want to do? Keep squeezing blood from a rock? Is that what they want to do? I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. If anybody else out there thinks I'm the one that's being illogical, please let me know. JD Antigua, my tenant pays nothing and has had COVID twice. Yet she claims COVID. Wait. My tenant pays nothing and has had COVID twice. Yep, she claims COVID twice. Liar. So I'm assuming that she claims that she had COVID twice, but she never had it. I'm wondering, in your case, JD, and in many other people's cases are facing the same things, where they're, again, I'm going to put quotes, they were affected by COVID. If they were truly affected by COVID, did they actually go to the doctor and they actually have records of them being affected by COVID and they actually contracting the disease? Do they have records of them being unemployed for extended periods of time? And even if they were unemployed for extended periods of time, were they not collecting unemployment insurance? Because just because you're unemployed doesn't mean you're not getting any income. If you're getting unemployment insurance, there is some income coming in. And I've said this before. I know of situations, I've had tenants of my own that I know for a fact have been affected by COVID. As a fact. And they're doing the right thing. They're calling me and saying, Nick, I don't have the money. You know what the situation is. I'll give you what I can. Here's, take $50, take $100. This is what I could do. They need to take whatever little income they're getting and distribute it between rent and eating and doctor's bills and everything else. I get that. There's a big human element to this that we cannot deny, that needs to be addressed. That by far is a huge factor. But at the same time, what's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. And by manipulating the system and not having any kind of negative effects from what's happening right now with this pandemic, that's wrong. I don't know what else to say. JC, simply, it's a bias on self attestation. Yes, it is. It is based on that. They basically have to self-certify it, with other words. And you know what? As much as I like to see the positive and be optimistic as far as the society is concerned, there's a lot of people that are liars out there. There's a lot of people that are very biased. There's a lot of people that are when the sun is out, they're going to say it's nighttime, and when it's dark outside, they're going to say it's a bright sunny day. As long as it benefits them. You're laughing, right, Trevor? I'm sure you know plenty of those people.
They're jokers.
Yeah, they're jokers. You know what the joke is? The joke's on the rest of the world.
They know they're getting away with it, so that's why they do it.
And you know what? We just sit back and let it happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the travesty. That's the crime. But what are you going to do?
The law protect them and punish the landlord.
Absolutely. I've told you about horrible horror situations I've had. You've told me, you haven't had pleasant experiences your whole life with this whole situation. But hey, we mean nothing. Then what has to happen is we need to keep talking, and people with big mouths like me that have a microphone in front of them and a camera in front of them have to keep talking, and hopefully more and more people will keep following suit, and more people will start to watch these videos and share them and enlighten people and get people more involved. And maybe the subscribers that I lost that are pro cancel rent, those ones, maybe all those pro cancel rent people that I lost, maybe I'll get 10 times the amount of people following that actually believe in doing the right thing. Maybe, just maybe. Qualification for RA is based on just saying I can't pay. Yes, that is true, just simply. However, the program is not open yet. That's also very true. That in contradiction to reopening statements from politicians, correct? Again, tenants do not have to prove anything. Correct once more. Oh my God, you're hitting on all cylinders today, JC. Simply, you're basically giving a full testament of true facts today. JD Antigua, she will not show proof of getting COVID-19 or proof of unemployment. She claims confidentiality, and that is something that a lot of people are hiding behind. A lot of people are basically trying to play the system by not actually filling out the form and not actually sending it back and not doing anything and hoping to write it out up until the day the moratorium lifts. And then once they actually get into the courts and the moratorium lifts, that they'll work the system for more months until either they walk away or get a payment to get the hell out of the apartment or the house, or walk out on you and hoping that they're going to get away with it scot-free. And in a lot of cases, they will get away with it scot-free. And that's the sad truth. So who's going to get their justice? Nobody. Because in this case, there is no winners. The only winners you're going to get are the ones that are playing the system, or the ones that already really played the system and took buyouts already to get out of the rentals. And that's happening every single day that passes through. Every single day. It's blackmail. Last time I checked, blackmail is not a good thing. That's not legal. But you're blackmailing landlords. You're basically saying, I'm not giving you an apartment, and you might potentially be stuck with me for another year or 2 years, depending on how much I can work the system of no rent. Either that, or you're going to pay me X amount of money, and I'm going to get out. And a lot of times you're having a lot of the housing providers, the landlords, that are folding and doing that because one, they're figuring it's going to cost them more to keep this battle going, and they'll possibly never recover a fraction of what's owed to them, plus all the legal fees that are compounded. And by the way, if you got an LLC or a corporation here in New York, you can't self-represent. You got to be defended by a lawyer. And what happens if you don't have money for a lawyer? You're screwed. That's what happens. See, I said I'm not going to get animated today, but I guess I did. But things like this are what bring things out of me. It really isn't impossible to be able to not get upset about this. But then, like I said, I'm human, just like a lot of people. Human beings get upset. Human beings get hurt. Landlords are human. And I'm one of them. But even if you're not, you take a good look at what's happening, and possibly your industry and your sector and your place in society will get affected the same way down the line when you're deemed irrelevant, or you're deemed to be subhuman by the politicians and the officials out there. My gut feeling is that NYC, for the most part, not distribute the 2.4 billion and will end up keeping it. Landlords will not get it. Well, Jason, simply, I am sorry that I have to somewhat agree with you, because I have no faith as far as them distributing money equally and without wasting money. Because I promise you, there's so much waste happening right now. And I don't know why they don't do internal. You don't want to put an internal audit. They should have external audits going to these companies, into these different parts of the treasury of the state, and look into where is the money really going. Where is it really going? I'd love to see it, because that's a lot of money. $2.4 billion. It's not enough to make the landlord whole, but it's a good amount of money to start. Where is that money going? Where will it end up? I don't know. Is it going to go into some kind of special interesting? I hope not. Is it going to go into the pockets of the people that are manipulating and playing the system? I hope not. But we will find out soon enough. We will find out soon enough. And now you see me, I'm getting upset again. And I'm starting to get on my tirades. And I'm going to calm myself down, because I don't want to end the show on a really, really aggressive and angry note. But I am calling people accountable for themselves. And you people that are making these laws, you need to take a good look at yourselves and stop being hypocrites and treat everybody the same way and treat everybody evenly. It's not a perfect world. It's not a perfect system. And nobody ever says it is. But you can try to do the best you can without being blatant and without being very, very abusive of your powers. I report to the credit bureau. JD, you can do the same. If you are in New York, good luck, as your date will be moved to September. Good luck. That's what we're trying to avoid, JD. That's what we're trying to avoid. We're trying to stop that from happening. Will we win? Will we have any luck? I don't know. But this has come to a point of critical mass. And if this gets extended again, we're going to have a major, major meltdown that's happening right now financially for a lot of people. People are already at the point of being redlined on their finances and being underwater on being able to pay their expenses and their mortgages. Where's this going to end? How is this going to end? Somebody please help me understand this, because property taxes are still being collected. There's no moratorium on those. They're still collecting on utilities. And you know what? The utilities are separate companies, but you know what? Why isn't the government telling Con Edison, you take a moratorium? Why aren't they telling National Grid, you take a moratorium? Why? Can't understand it. I really can't. Water department, water and sewer, and you know how much the sewers go for. No moratorium. Meanwhile, you get a bunch of false calls, claims, penalties, and fines are being bombarded on top of housing providers. Why? Because you have people that are very unscrupulous, that are tenants. I'm not saying them all, but do you have certain ones that are purposely being destructive and purposely doing everything they can to cost more money to landlords, even though they're sucking the landlords dry? They want to cause more damage to them and force the situation to make it keep going. The state will keep the 2.4 billion. Landlords will be left holding the bag. Yeah, I hope that's not the case, but you know what? You might be right. It will be extended possibly tomorrow. Again, I hope you're wrong. I truly hope you're wrong. This is a sad, sad time as far as how abuse is happening right now. Damn thing is making me smoke more and it's making me cough more now. Here's the hypocrisy. Like I said, I smoke. Government, the state has no problem of leaving packs of cigarettes on the counters and leaving the convenience stores open so you can go get your cigarettes and die from them. As long as they get their taxes from them. They got no problem with doing that. Trevor, you ever hear anybody being upset about you dying from cancer if you smoke? No. Let's put a little caution thing on there. And let's tax $10 on a 2-pack of cigarettes. That's okay, right? Die. That's what they're telling us. But when it comes to doing the right thing for housing providers, people that worked hard, they're doing the right thing. They're trying to live an honest life. You're taking away everything from them. Love the hypocrisy, people. And on that note, I'm going to start signing off. Again, thank you all for listening. Again, from now until the end of the fundraiser, till June 10th, please take me up on my offer. And if you could do $1, $2, everything is appreciated. A quarter, a dime, it doesn't matter. It all goes to the same place. If you all super chats that are put in, anything after YouTube takes their cut is going to go straight into the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. And until next week, have a great week. Have a lot of success in real estate and make lots of money. And I'll be with you again, same as every week, Monday through Friday, Monday, 6 to 7 p.m. on the Real Estate Plate. And Tasso, I hope you're in a better place right now. You're missed. You went way too soon. Have a great night, everybody.